Hey, everybody get up and sing. We are family. I got all my sisters in me. Come on. This is what it's all about. Coming back. Coming back. We are all one. We are all family. Remember what it's like? There's one universal language we all speak. Music, baby. You can get people up dancing. You can change the mood of the room. Smile. Wink. Flirt. Human connection to where it's at. I'm doing this song especially. This was one of my mama's favorites. I grew up in the kitchen with my mom dancing to music like this. When it all boils down to it, I got your back. And I know who has mine. What matters. We are family. Come on everybody and sing. Come on, yeah, 'cause we are family, and I love you all from the bottom of my heart. And today we're going to go into what has been dropping in for the past few days, and I've been wanting to express, but I wanted to also touch upon what other people have felt and other perspectives and what's going on in this crazy world around us. My opinion, it's like a really bad B movie. I mean, come on. You come out with this, then you come out with that, you change the story, you change it this way, you flip it that way. I'm sorry, pancakes I like to eat for breakfast. I don't like people flipping bullshit in front of my face. And that's me calling it straight like it is. Because you know what? There's a lot of shame and blame going on. And we are pawns in a game of chess, people. I can look at my friends, I can look in the neighbors. I will treat you as you are, like love from my heart. I will try to be as present as I can be. But I sure as hell will not support a system that is designed to make me feel guilty for something that isn't even a part of me. But I can only speak that for myself. Because I don't feel guilt and shame, but I see what is happening around me, and I see how people are being divided. They're being pitted against one another, using these terms, these certain words to instill, again, submission, to make you less than feeling, right? Like, who in our lives here? I want to know in the comments, who hasn't been told you need to prove yourself? Or felt somewhere along in the conditioning, our society, families, environment, advertising, media, Hollywood. You got to prove yourself. I'm here to tell you, you are enough. I put it on the door of my refrigerator. I have it on my bathroom mirror. I have it also in a couple other places. We are all worthy of love. We do not have to prove ourselves to somebody. We do not have to go shouting at the rooftops of some proclamation to prove who we are. Because at the core of each and every one of us is an inner child that says, I just want to be loved and seen for who I am. And I think that with all these labels that we've been, subscribing to, I mean, and I don't even, I dislike labels because it puts you in a box. I don't want to be called anything. I don't want somebody to say you're this, because all they've done is gotten lazy and placed me in that little box in their mind that says this is what that box means, it represents. If you put a label on someone, whether it's the color of your skin, your gender, your sexual preference, the teams that you follow, the family race, like your nationality, your you know, whatever it is. Once you have given yourself a label, because that's not who you are. That is not who you are. You have given other people permission, and you've given your power away to the label and all the preconceived ideas that other people have around it, because you don't know what someone thinks when they hear those labels. Every single person has a different interpretation and meaning for it. There is not one person who has the same view as you. And that's a guaranteed fact. You know why? Because not one person has had the same direct experiences that you've had. And that's what makes us all beautiful and diverse and unique in our own rights and our own ways. So what's going on in the world is all about separate, divide, conquer. Because when we're fighting against each other, number one, it weakens our immune system. It increases the cortisol in our blood. So, you know, what does that mean? It means that we're in fight or flight all the time. We don't know who to trust. We don't know what to believe. Like if you're watching the mainstream media, you're getting sucked of your juice, your life force, your energy. Because they're telling you one thing and then they flip their story around and then you're like, well, wait a minute, you just said this. If you even pay attention, because a lot of times it's a Jedi mind trick. They change it up and you don't even realize they did it. And then this one you've been following so long and you have so much devotion and you're loyal to this person, does one little thing, but something doesn't resonate with you and you're like, something doesn't feel right. But you're like, but I'm loyal to that person or that ideology or that belief, that person, place, thing, whatever. It really sucks when someone has been deceiving you, when you have followed someone and admired somebody only to come to find out they've been lying to you all along. There's going to be a lot of anger in the world, and it isn't even just about the separation divide. It's about the belief that we've been holding that comes crumbling down, and we realize, wow, that wasn't really my belief. I was programmed. I was taught. I was conditioned to believe that. I took on some other story that had nothing to do with me and who I am. And when we do that, we're disempowered. So then you don't even know what to believe. You can't trust yourself. You can't trust the people around you. You can't trust what you read, what you hear, what you see. I mean, it gets to a point where now they got ya. They got you so confused, you don't know what to do. That's when you need to disengage. That's when you need to be in. Go within. The one thing that you have is right here. And when you catch yourself in fight or flight, you catch yourself being pulled by the heartstrings. It's time to go in. It's time to reflect. It's time to go, wow, what is this really trying to teach me and tell me about myself? Because there's something huge here. And there's an opportunity for growth. There's an opportunity for more unity. The first most important unity you're ever going to work on is right here. Because when you learn to trust yourself, to forgive yourself, to allow yourself to feel whatever you need to feel, then you can compassionately express that out to others. Because everything starts with self. If you feel you can't trust things around you, then you need to go back to number one, you. Because the one thing that's consistent is you. Sit down, meditate, do whatever you got to do. Deepen your connection to yourself. Together we stand, united. The more we are pitted against one another for whatever the thing is, whether it's wearing a mask, whether it's you believe in COVID or you don't believe in it, you believe in have to have 6 feet away from a person to feel safe. I mean, truly, we all got issues as it is with our own personal space anyway, whether it's 1 foot or 2 feet. But the truth is that we really, for heart resonance, we do need to be closer to one another. There's no coincidence that they choose random numbers, and it has a lot to do with keeping the heart connection severed. Or when you can't see my face, number 1, you can't identify me. Number 2, I don't have a voice. Number 3, I'm submissive. And whether you want to see equality in the world, you got to start with yourself. How are you treating yourself? If you don't, well, that's some serious work you got to work on. If you really do believe that people are lower than you, that is some deep shadow work you got to sit with. But I know that the majority of the people out there, you're good people. So don't let whatever's going on out in the world make you feel like you're a bad person. If you've ever had a thought that was a bad thought, if you didn't act on it, that doesn't make you a bad person. You know, the mind is curious, so it will go in all these different directions. It will go in all these avenues to kind of explore what, you know, if I have a bad thought that I know is a bad thought, not to shame or blame myself, but to go, wow, that didn't feel so good now, did it? Now I can shift it to what does feel good. See, this life is about contrast. And there's so much beauty in contrast. When things are not alike, it gives you more insight, more beauty to behold, like the diversity of what is all around you, the sweetness, the richness that each one of us brings to the table, the gifts, the nuances. You know, I was listening to Alan Watts the other day, and it was reminding me, and I just love it, because sometimes I re-listen to the same stuff, and, you know, this life, we can't have the good without the bad, or the bad without the good. So we have it explicitly to see it and know it, because just like everything has to have a shape or a form, it doesn't go for, like the formless has to have the form. And that's the beauty. The beauty is it's all to help it be more visible in your face, all of it. So I feel like right now, when I look out in the way that the news, and I know that there's a lot of, there's always going to be people who show up to try to take advantage of circumstances, and we call those opportunists, to try to discredit people who are doing good things in the world. So there'll always be the antagonist trying to like kill the voice of kindness, you know, the evil versus the good, and truly, you know, even the evil is good because it's allowing you to see the good. Like, if you didn't have evil, you wouldn't know good. If you didn't have right, you wouldn't know wrong, or you wouldn't have wrong, you wouldn't know right. And these different contrasts are really here to help us grow. It's that barometer, what I say about feeling it to heal it. If you didn't feel horrible one day, how could you know to feel grateful and feel good on other days? If I didn't feel pain, how would I know, oh my gosh, that feels so good when I feel pleasure? But sometimes we get so fixated, so stuck in the extremes, you know, the pendulum swinging. I can get stuck. I watch myself. I can feel pain to the point where I'm antagonizing and perpetuating it. I'm keeping it because it's familiar. See, that's an addiction. All it takes is that nice little combination of it's familiar, it's consistent, I can rely upon it, it somehow gives me a feeling of comfort and connection to whatever and whoever. We gotta be humble enough to look at our shit. What makes us tick? Because it's all perfectly as it is, and it should be, and we're all divinely being guided in this world. But when you walk down the street and you see someone, do you see a human, or are you sizing them up and throwing your labels out at them in your mind? Because that's the true measure of your character and your integrity and your mind. And, you know, a lot of times you don't realize we're always comparing ourselves to everyone around us and everything. Am I far enough ahead in my life? Am I good enough? Because that's what it boils down to. It really boils down to, am I worthy enough? Do I have value? How can I contribute? And most often, you're discrediting yourself because you do. And you do contribute. You just don't contribute in the way you think you need to or should. So don't should on yourself. Don't should on anyone else. Everybody's doing the best they can with where they're at. But when you walk down the street, smile at everyone you meet, greet, like extend the olive branch, always going into it from the heart. You know, people can feel you. You can be felt. You can feel others. Something doesn't feel right? Trust your gut. Trust your feeling. It's there for a reason. I could speak a lot on all of this, but ultimately I really wanted to just share one of my favorite go-to warm drinks that I make when it's rainy and a little bit chill in the air. It's not super chill, but it definitely is raining, although it's a little drier outside than it has been. So if somebody wants to take notes, I'm going to make, it's chocolate. Oh, I need dates. I use black sesame, tahini. This stuff is great. Black sesame is really good for, like if you have gray hair, it's good for hormones. Specifically, it's tasty, it's earthy. All the goodies that you need to keep you in balance. So let's see, what am I going to do? I'm going to use a little bit of, I do this sometimes. So I have this, the palm, since it is so difficult to have to sit and, well, it's not difficult, but it is messy when you have pomegranate and you have to peel it. So I'm just going to put about 4 ounces of this palm drink in here, just enough to make this up. I have that, and this ginger is looking kind of like it needs to be used. So let me know what you're doing today on this fabulous Sunday. I will be doing a video on my page, my other page, Lana 𝒂𝒂𝒍𝒂𝒍𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 we want to do a meditation for everyone. Ho'oponopono. I want to do a forgiveness meditation because what I'm feeling right now in this time, in this era, everything that we're going through, is that we really need to find forgiveness with ourselves. And with forgiveness for ourselves for everything that, especially the parts where we blame and shame ourselves. We can easily get caught off guard with the things going on in the world and then feel like we have to do something because somebody else is doing something. And it's really important that you know, what is my role in this life? I know my role is not to go out, or at least not in this moment. I do not feel called to protest, to go walk in the streets. I have other ways that I serve. I prefer to be the one who holds space for those who are doing the hard work, what appears to be more challenging work. So when people need me, they turn to me. I am a healer's healer, so I have a lot of friends and people that turn to me as far as that goes. But I don't feel it's my role to be out marching in streets. Now my mom, she was big into all of this. My mom has always been very active, vocal. She's been at the marches. She was at the DC Women's March years ago. Ever since I was a little girl, I grew up reading the stories of equality for women, for people of color. You know, I absolutely love the strength, especially of women like Harriet Tubman, who helped to free slaves. Like, those were my stories growing up. Those influenced me the most. The women, hello ladies, this is our time, of all races, of all colors and creeds. It's our time to step up, to support each other. We've been in a patriarchy for so long. It doesn't even know what it's like to nurture and to truly embrace and celebrate one another. And this is what it's time for. To stop condemning, to stop condoning, to stop the violence. There is so much more that comes when a woman steps up, because a woman is all about inclusion, the web of inclusion, that we're all interconnected. It isn't this, the patriarchal way of handling it is you just imagine a boardroom and look at our country. You got one person at the head and everybody else is out in front. Like one person is in charge. With women, we understand we all have a voice and that we all serve and contribute. Many years ago in my management classes, I took women in management class, which I absolutely loved up in DC. All right, this is about, I'm going to say, that's 2 tablespoons. That's what we're going to put in here. Because this isn't going to be a big cup. But I use hot water in this too. So, and it was one of my best classes. It's probably one of my favorite classes. I'm getting phone calls. Text. It was one of my favorite classes because it brought out it kind of reinforced it, because being a woman, it reminded me of how we really do, the majority of us, I mean, I can't speak for all women, but we just naturally have an inclination to, to hug, to hold, and that doesn't always mean physically. We want to see one another succeed and happy and in the joys. All right, we're going to put some chicory root. So we got 4 ounces of the pomegranate juice. We have a thumb of ginger, let's say. We're going to say a teaspoon of chicory root. We have 2 tablespoons of black sesame seed. I'm going to put some cacao and carob because I like the balance of them. They're really good for, well, heck, magnesium and all those minerals. So a tablespoon of carob and a tablespoon of cacao. Oh yeah, I got chicory all over my spoon. Raw cacao, peoples. Can you see that? Yeah. So remember, I mean, truly, it doesn't matter if you're born into a family that's close or you have a close set of friends. I'm very blessed, the most amazing, close-knit, crazy, nuanced, idiosyncratic family. My family, we have a very unique love and humor, and I'm very blessed. I mean, we are close and we're tight. So what our interaction and our dynamics is special. So when someone comes into our space, they get to witness something they're not used to. And it looks different to everybody. I mean, we know we're a little quirky, but we love each other. You know, my sister and I, we can call and rap about our other siblings, our family, and that's between us. We don't go blurting to other people because that's our family. And then really it's the same thing with my girlfriends and my closest circle. And I'm very selective about my inner circle because it's very important to me to also express and demonstrate, to lead by example, that what is discussed between me and my friends, unless we have agreed that it's with more than one person not present, we keep it between us. So that's just telling me my battery's low. Because it's important. Trust is huge. If you cannot be trusted, whether it's trusting yourself or somebody entrusting you with something very sacred and true and private to them, then you got to work on that, because trustworthiness is not something easy to regain once you've lost it. So, this is going to be a short video, by the way. Unless I go get that power cord anyway. So, when someone trusts you, don't take it lightly. A little dash of Ceylon cinnamon, because trust is definitely a blessing, and I find it very it's empowering. But trust is something very special. It's a form of love, people. So some horsetail root, a tablespoon, or teaspoon, I'm sorry, teaspoon. Horsetail root is great for growing hair and skin and nails. Let me see. Now we're going to put a little bit of almond extract. And then we're going to put some vanilla stevia and butterscotch stevia. This is about 3 drops of the almond extract. And then we're going to put 5 of the butterscotch. I've got to start this, the hot water, so that it's ready when we're done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the butterscotch. And then vanilla. You know, these 𝒒𝒐𝒃s are my favorite. So butterscotch toffee is like the bomb diggity, especially when I'm making my chocolates. Same thing, 5 on the vanilla. Alright. Now, I feel like I'm missing something here. I have 3 dates left over here. I like to clean off my dates because I've had dirty dates. I don't know if anybody else is like that. With me, I'm just like, might as well clean it off. You don't know what kind of hands have sampled or touched. I also like to open my dates before I eat them because sometimes there'll be mold in the middle. Had that happen. Alright. And then we're going to blend this all up. So 3 dates. And the hot water's started. Alrighty. It does need a little bit more water. So that's the beginning. I'm going to add some lion's mane because this is in a jar, but lion's mane is great for brain power. There's always other. I love the mushrooms are amazing because they're medicinal and vitamin D. The fungi are the interweavings, the interweb of the earth. And that's how trees and plants communicate under the earth, if you didn't know that. So I'm going to add a little bit more of this, but it'll be bubbled up and I don't want it to be too hot. Mix that. Alrighty, so cover your ears. I'm about to blend it up. You can kind of see me off to the side over here. Alrighty, and let's start. Let's get ready to rumble. So I don't know how many of you got a chance. Hi, Billy. I don't know how many of you got a chance to see my video. I had put it on Instagram and my Facebook stories regarding my back Love Shack. I think I'm going to rename it. I love the name Love Shack and all that, but I essentially was sharing that the renovations are kind of a little bit more in progress. One of my dear friends came over and removed the HVAC, the heating air conditioning blower that was up in the ceiling, and took all the ductwork out. What a huge difference that made. So yeah, we're getting closer, because the walls are going to come down. Look at this. This is so yummy. It's nice and thick. And now I'm going to add the hot water and blend it up some more. I don't like it to be super bubbly boiling, like it's enough hot to touch right now that it is starting to bubble boil. Reishi would be a great mushroom to be doing, but I ran out of reishi. Alright, we'll put this back on and then we'll put it back on the... Alright. It's the little things, simple things in life. You don't need a lot. You just need what you need. So let me know in the comments, what do you have planned for this beautiful Sunday? It's rainy season here, seems, but it's still a gift to nature. It's so pretty and green in the backyard. I'll have to do a video on that one later. But remember, this afternoon, I don't know exact time, I plan on doing a video to do a meditation for forgiveness on my Lana 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒍𝒂𝒂 page. So if you're around and you're feeling inspired and needing to meditate, and definitely need to work on forgiveness, especially starting with self, like I said. Essentially, we all need to work on forgiveness. We're not taught, we're not raised or conditioned to forgive. We're taught to blame and shame and to point fingers. And the most important thing we'll ever do is realize that there's really nothing to forgive, essentially. But in some way, shape, or form, with all this conditioning through the media and everything else, we've been shamed and blamed. We're immediately reared into a world that says you got to prove yourself, you got to prove your worth. When we came into the world needing our needs met, like something has to do that for us in the beginning. You don't have to prove that you need certain things to live. We're all human and we all want love and compassion and kindness. And guess what? It's our birthright. It's our birthright to receive that. This is nice and yummy. So this is going to make, let me try it. Yep, that's just right. I'm going to add more hot water to this anyway, but. I'm getting ready to go in the studio to grade exams for our Kundalini Yoga teacher training that just finished up. And they get to graduate on the 20th of June. It's a journey, and it's self-initiation. Everything in this life, if you want to grow and evolve, takes your initiative. It takes self-initiation, which means you decide, you choose. Nobody is ever forcing you to do anything without your will. You may feel bullied into it, you may feel obligated, but essentially you always have the choice in the end. You always do. And if you do feel something other than your free will being given, if you feel you are bullied, sit with that. Ask yourself, what are my other options? How can I work with this? There's always a healing opportunity in it. Everywhere, everything. So I am going to drink up my nice warm drink and head over to the studio. And I just wish you all the most amazing, blessed day. If you have questions, you want me to do talks on anything in particular, please let me know in the comments. Reach out to me. I am here to serve. And this afternoon we'll be doing a forgiveness meditation. I love you all. Stay blessed.